Hey, how's it going, everyone? What's going on? It's me, Jonathan here. I'm coming to you again from the writer of the upcoming blog and formed page on nodepressionforme.com. I'm the current writer and editor of the upcoming web page on nodepressionforme.com. I'm your host today for the day, Jonathan, here with my new and popular series, Music for Mental Health. This is where we get to really talk about the interesting, in-depth conversations that we can have with these type of things with music and mental health specifically. So in this episode, I'm just really trying to look at what exactly is considered to be good music and what is considered to be bad music. Now, in the case of the obvious preferences, I'm not going to get into that. That's nowhere near to be found in this type of video. I'm not here to put anyone's music flavor or taste down as opposed to others, and in my opinion that just wouldn't be very good of me to do that in the first place. Of course, throughout the various seasons that I plan to do with this type of channel and types of series, it's going to get more in depth. I mean, there's going to be a lot more experimental topics. Some of them are just going to be me, just going off the dome, which is kind of different ideas and different concepts. So we're going to get into really a lot of interesting ideas, and I hope to be able to do that in the coming months and so. But for now, we're just going to keep things simple, and I really wanted to just talk about something that I really, really wanted to talk about, which is just good and bad music. And there's a lot of examples that we can really bring up with good and bad music. But first and foremost, music in itself, sort of a mood enhancement. It's known to increase your mood depending on the type of music that you listen to, depending on the melody, the tempo, the pitch. You can have something that'll lift you up, that'll make you feel more happier throughout just the different kind of sounds that can really exemplify just kind of that feeling of joy and peace, serenity and love, as opposed to other slower songs that may give off more loneliness or depraved and depression-like feelings of guilt and shame, sadness, and all these type of other problems. But we know through various researches that it can improve mental health being, and it can improve physical health being, not in the sense that it can cure them per se, but they can definitely alleviate some of the symptoms, such as certain stressors, certain motivations. So it can help with encouragement, for sure. It can also lower that as well. So you have to be very mindful of that. And so music in itself is just able to kind of regulate your mood. And it is a way to process and regulate moods that we often go through. Everyone has their different reasons for looking at music the way they do. However, there are many, many variations of how we listen to music, and really how it is a form of expression, and how we use it to kind of be sort of like an extension of ourselves in a way. So we use it merely as an extension of ourselves and our personalities, in our feelings and our emotions on a day-to-day series. But there's a different type of study that Hachi Egerman uses to kind of expresses this type of feelings. And so, according to Hachi Egerman, we regulate our moods in several different types of ways. And how we kind of do that is through revival, or rather relaxation, which is the form of reviving our mood, uplifting ourselves when we're exhausted, stressed out. We tend to listen to uplifting music, or tend to listen to music in general, to uplift our moods and help us be, feel more, have more energy. So we get a sense of energy from those types of musics. We tend to feel certain sensations when we listen to certain types of musics. So we may want to feel a certain type of way, so we put on a type of song that we want to feel a certain energy, certain vibe, certain presence that the energy is able to lift towards us. And so we also use it as a form of distraction, really just a procrastination of time. We really just listen to it just to, get some stuff out of the way, whatever the case is. we also use it to discharge. And what that means is just that if we have a certain emotion that we feel like amplifying, we feel like exemplifying at that current moment. And it's kind of like in a way kind of related to the sensations and diversion aspect. We really want to do the opposite of separating. We want to get involved in what we're feeling. We want to like actively participate. We want to make it more prominent. So in that case, we just kind of listen to those types of music to feel a certain way, to feel a certain emotion that we really feel at that current moment, and just to have some sort of validation for what we're feeling. And we've all done that at some point. We've all listened to those types of emotional songs that we just have, and we tend to just kind of like amplify those emotions just so we can kind of just express those feelings and just kind of as a way of releasing energy, which is the main point. Contemplation or appraisal. So we listen to music to kind of think about what we're going through when we're not really sure about what we're going through, and we just listen to this type of song or certain like relaxing music to just kind of think about life, think about where we're going or what our current situation is. And so we just use it to kind of put in the background so we could just have an easier time, a better time thinking about something. And just kind of getting in the mindset of just being able to achieve what we want to achieve with the type of music that we have at our disposal. And solace, which is the last one here on the list. Now solace is similar to discharge in a way that we want to listen to something that we feel we connect to. However, we're not doing it in a sense of releasing energy, but we more so do it in a way to kind of just match our energy so that we feel like we're kind of connected to someone that can relate with us if we don't have someone in that current moment. And yeah, just having a kind of that kind of person, just to, it's in supplement of that type of person that we may want. That type of music can kind of be a supplement, just to sort of feel connected to something. It doesn't have to be something emotional or really sad or really happy. It could be kind of melancholy, whatever you want. It could be a mixture of a lot of things, but it's very similar to diversion. However, the only difference is that we're not discharging our energy. How diversion is sort of just us separating ourselves from that current moment to just kind of distract our minds with something. Whereas you have solace, which is just simply us just choosing to have something to match our emotional states. And we have discharge, which is to kind of be an outlet, or more so negatives, but it could also be in some positive aspects too. Whether, it could be something to deal with sadness. It could be dealing with a death or the family. It could be dealing with an emotional situation, emotional breakup. It could be dealing with something joyful, even like how something good could happen in our lives, or how we may be feeling really excited or amped up for something. That could be a form of discharge. In fact, working out while listening to music is a form of discharge. Just by listening to something that matches your mood and it's kind of like something that gives you more energy, that's a form of discharge. Now, I wanted to really get into good and bad music, which is something that I really need to talk about here. My argument really with saying good and bad music, and this is something that I feel would really impact a lot of people when they get a good grasp on this. So when I talk about good and bad music, I'm not trying to sit here and say that how jazz, for example, is a worse genre than classical music. I'm not trying to sit here and say that at all. You should really be saying that to yourself. How do I feel when I'm listening to jazz, and how do I feel when I'm listening to classical music? You can even divide it up more than that. You could simplify it more. So when we say how do you feel when you listen to music? How do you feel when you listen to any music? How do you feel when you're listening to any song? So when a song is playing, how are you feeling when those music tones and those musical lyrics and the way they're singing, the type of lyrics that they have, they're shouting at you. The way that they're singing at you, How did those vibrations feel? How did those melodies sound? Those sounds in general, the way the beat moves, the way that the drum hits, the way that the different instruments, the symphonies or different elements of a song kind of clash together. How does it feel like when you're kind of listening to those type of music? Do you feel like a sense of energy to want to do something throughout your day, or do you feel a sense of dissatisfaction or just laziness, perhaps? Maybe you just want to lay in bed all day when you listen to a certain type of song. Or are you motivated to kind of pick up your pen and paper and write? Or are you encouraged to go outside and start jogging out for a day and start getting some exercise in? Or even riding your bike. There's a lot of things you can do outside, to be frankly. Even going for a walk. I mean, there's some people that'll walk and listen to music, or some that'll run and listen to music. And that's perfectly fine. That's a form of discharge when you do that. Is the emotions that we're feeling really how we want to be feeling every single day of our lives? Do we really want to be focusing on the pain and torment, or even the stresses of life that we just kind of go through when we're working? The heartbreaks, the deaths, the sicknesses, the mental health struggles that we face with, all of us in our lives. At some point, some degree or another, we face those types of realities. All of us go through certain pains and certain traumas and emotional heartbreaks and corruptions. That's the kind of world we live in. But that doesn't mean we should be listening to only those type of music. Emotional songs that kind of bring out a lot of the traumas back into our lives. We shouldn't be mainly focused on those types of songs, because they're not going to help us at all with overcoming them or becoming better people at the end of the day. Instead, we really should just be focused on higher things and higher aspects of our lives, such as religion, or such as meditating, such as what we do have and as opposed to what we don't have. And being focused on the present instead of the past or the future. It's easy to think about the past when we have suffered a lot of great things and a lot of great battles in our lives that we've overcome. And we kind of fear for that for the future, not really so sure as to what will come and will come of us on a day-to-day basis. We should be listening to those types of music that is going to encourage us to want to strive for something better, accomplish something great, and to ultimately achieve our life destinies, our life goals, and things that really fulfill us and make us feel better when we do them, such as giving to other people who are less fortunate than others, instead of just receiving things, giving out to people, mediate certain emotions, sort of stressors that we feel, that we're really feeling inside of us. And so when we're haltering ourselves with bad music and bad music taste, then that's not to say that we're not going to ever grow as people, but that's going to keep us stagnant in our growth of becoming who we really want to be, and ultimately coming out of despair and sadness. And so when we listen to good and bad music, it's rather just the emotions that we feel from those types of songs that are most important. So a good song would just simply have you feel more positive towards that situation that you may have felt. And the interesting thing is that some people feel different emotions depending on the different types of songs. So I may listen to one song that I may feel, I resent this song. The song makes me feel depressed, or maybe me feel very anxious or very lonely or depressed. Someone may not feel the same way I feel about that type of music, but rather may feel encouraged by that song to not want to feel that type of way, to have that sort of comfortability that, yes, this is how I'm feeling, but I could be a better person, I can overcome that, and I can achieve many greater things. Now, it's not to say that the power of lyrics in a song don't matter, or they're not accountable. They are. In fact, I would strongly suggest that you listen to songs that do have strong lyrics in them, because those lyrics mean more and resonate with your soul more than you think it does. And so those types of songs that you listen to should really matter and should really impact you on how you feel about something, on how you would want to grow out of it. And so I think about the song Kelly Clarkson, that she wrote called Stronger. How that song kind of deals with a breakup song, but in a twistful way, it kind of makes you feel stronger, literally. How to overcome those heartbreaks, how to overcome those sadness and disparities. That's a really positive and encouraging motivational song to listen to, in my opinion. Especially if you dealt with something similar like that. Now, of course, I'm not saying that's the only song you can listen to. There's many other types of songs that are out there that are more encouraging and more upbeat that you can listen to. But in the case put, you can have a lot of good influences on a lot of different types of genres. Even instrumental songs have their weight and have their capacity to really infect the soul and really encourage your mood. So you may even listen to something that's like classical music, like a Mozart symphony, or you may listen to Toccata and Fugue. I mean, that's just a personal preference. You may want to listen to Bach, Beethoven. How can I forget? You may want to listen to something like rock influenced. That can help you motivate your mood. You may like pop music. You may like jazz music. You may like rap music. All those are fine, and I would categorize them as good and bad music. We should always go in with the mindset that we're going to listen to this song to kind of feel connected with it, and to kind of gain something from that song. Not just to go into a song and just expect, okay, I'm just going to do this because I'm bored. That's not always a good medicine. That's not to say that you can't challenge your brain and listen to new music to kind of challenge your mind and challenge your way of thinking. That's not this, even listening to a new genre of music that can help to challenge your aspects of ways of looking at different music, and not to just be preconceived to the type of music you're already conditioned to listening to, but generally speaking, to kind of be motivated and impact on those types of different sounds and different melodies that are coming from it as a result of that different type of expression with the type of songs that people make. It's just a matter of how you listen to those types of songs and really why you're listening to them. And so how I would relate that with depression and mental health, on a final note, is that when we listen to too much music, when we listen to music, it may be comforting us because, we have something to kind of validate our moods, to want to make us stay stagnant and make us just feel sorrowful all day long. But that's not a good way and healthy way to live our lives. When we listen to types of music that are encouraging, that are amplifying, positivity, overcoming certain things, will help us get through our mountains and our struggles, and help us build more faith and trust and loyalty to people, and being more open to ourselves, and really just being honest with ourselves, and sitting here and saying that, we have these problems, but we're not going to let them rule us. We're not going to let them define us in our current moments, in our current day, and we're going to do something about it. We're going to stand up against it. We're going to fight up and really put a fight towards what we're going through and what we're dealing with. And we're going to stand up and find ways of coping them effectively, instead of just staying and sitting down and just, sitting to ourselves and being lonely. And that's another thing. It can help us to be more social as well. We don't even realize that, but listening to music, broadening up our music taste, listening to songs that aren't sad or depressing all day, it really helps us to be more social and interactive as human beings. It can help us to really nourish and fulfill ourselves and our souls and our capabilities for what we can do throughout the day. And so there's a sense of joy to be had when we find different ways of expressing our moods, when we find different ways of discharging and releasing energy that we don't have to do in the form of negative music, but we can do in other ways. And music can kind of help to be an alleviator of stress, but it's not the ultimate solution. I just want to remind that if any of you are interested, that we have our new website called nodepressionforme.com. It's a new and upcoming website that we have for many mental health and depression issues alike. And I strongly recommend that you join our forum and blog today. We have our new ebook that's coming out. We have a new community of people that you can join, and we can really talk about these issues in more depth. And obviously you'll find a slew of people that we can connect to and find different interests with, and sort of feel a sense of belonging and comfortability with, so you don't have to face these types of issues on your own, and you don't have to feel alone in your battles. And so music is only one of the solutions, but through our website and through our forum and our resources that we do have on our website for now, we're able to kind of bring more people to where they really need to be, and help more people to feel encouraged and motivated and strengthened to really find that confidence within themselves to overcome those depressions and mental health issues. You don't have to feel so it's a constant struggle to wake up in the morning, or feel like a constant struggle to want to do something with your life, because there is freedom from this mental health issue you're dealing with, this depression, this life event that this trauma. You're not too far gone to be saved. Things are not too grim for you to be saved and truly be in a better position than where you are now. I'm living proof, I'm living testimony of that, and there will of course be more discussions and topics on the website soon to be coming, but I will be certain to join in on helping people as much as I can throughout the website and on this platform as well. So feel free to leave a comment, a like, and subscribe to our channel to really get more notifications on these type of videos. I'd be more than happy to answer some of your questions and feedback. If you have any, leave a comment. That's all I gotta say for now. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you in the next video.